Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well, especially with the you-know-what going around. Hope you're all staying at home, just being as safe as possible with what's been going on, and it just kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But anyway, I wanted to take a quick second to thank all of you for your kind comments and condolences with my grandfather unfortunately passing last week. And I'm much better frame of mind. It's been very nice to have the support of not just you guys, but also my friends and family. So, thank you all very much for that. Very appreciative of it, and I'm feeling a lot better. And I thought, just for the heck of it, and so that we can all chill out and relax, I'm going to be going through all of the 7 3-star battles. So if anyone wants to take a moment, pause it and go get a snack or a beverage or whatever, feel free to do that, because it's going to be a bit of a long one. But I haven't done one of these in a while, so thought why not, it might be fun. I've been doing a couple things here and there to keep my mind busy lately, especially during downtime when it's slow at work. I took a bit of time earlier this week. One night I just got really bored. I watched Shimoneta all the way through, and it wasn't bad, I just didn't find it funny. Like, I understand it's supposed to be a comedy anime, but I don't know, wasn't laughing that much. I think my biggest problem with it was that a lot of the little jokes, there just wasn't a whole lot of build-up to them. So it was just like, okay, well, that's a thing. Moving on. I just felt like I was going through the motions when I was watching through the whole thing. One thing I can say that's really good about it, though, is it's short, sweet, and to the point. It's only 12 episodes. I count, like, the last one as kind of a filler one, but, you know, nothing too terrible. I just think it was incredibly underwhelming. That's all, really. But I haven't watched the rest of Gurren Lagann. I think quite a while ago I only watched up to episode 9, and I stopped watching because after that point I thought the episode titles were getting really freaking stupid, so that's kind of why I took a long break. But throughout this week, took a couple of nights, finally finished watching from episode 10 all the way through, and the action sequences are really freaking good. Like, those, there's no arguing, those are incredibly well animated. As far as, like, the overarching story, though, it's a little bit confusing to follow. And the ending is just kind of dour. It's bittersweet in the sense that you reach the ending and the world prospers and all that, but by the way, if you want to avoid hearing any spoilers, then I'd recommend you mute just for a second, or you go watch it yourself. But at the end, Nia disappears, so that was kind of a bummer, and a bunch of the characters that you've seen for a good portion on the screen, like pretty much all of the muscle-bound guy characters, or just you know, mostly the masculine ones, unfortunately they die. So that was a bummer. And you see Simon at the end, and he's with some kid teaching him how to do a drill, and then that pretty much ends there. A little bit of a confusing ending and a bit of a confusing anime in general, but if anything, I'd recommend watching it just for the action sequences. Again, those are so well animated. There are a couple of instances here and there where it's a bit slow on animation. It kind of looks like a PowerPoint. For a couple certain parts in the action sequences, but overall, really good stuff. And I've been kind of on and off lately with One Piece. My biggest problem with One Piece lately, with many other people really, is that the pacing, because the anime is pretty much caught up to the manga now at this point, the pacing is like really, really slow. So what you're watching in one episode is usually just a few panels, and that's especially apparent if you read the manga also. So what I've been doing is I've been waiting a few weeks, and then I'll just like choose one weekend, either 3 or 4 weeks later. I'll watch the next few, and then I'll usually take another break. But I have been keeping up with My Hero Academia. I was hooked on that right after the first 2 episodes. They were just really well done. They got me interested and invested. So that's a really cool one I'd recommend. It's a bunch of filler recently in, you know, after what happened with, and I won't spoil it, so if you want to go watch it, go do that. But anyway, after Overhaul, there's kind of this festival thing going on, and it kind of drags on here and there. Same with some of its filler. That's one thing I will praise it for. There's not too much filler, so I'm thankful for that. For the most part, though, it's really good stuff. That is definitely one I can recommend. And speaking of anime, I think recently I heard that Bleach is coming back. That's kind of a surprise. I thought they ended it off. But we'll have to see what they can do, I guess. We'll wait and see. So as you can tell, I'm using my go-to team that I normally use. And you can do something else that would also be really good to use for a similar setup like this. If you want to, you could get rid of the Focus Flash Blue Vegeta, the one that does a lot of damage. You could even replace him with Piccolo and just put him in front of Super Saiyan 4 Goku here, and more or less have infinite protection unless, you know, you're facing Few or Broli. But if you plan ahead, neither of those should be an issue. A lot of the SEC teams are just really good. Not just really good, but really broken, as you can see. Well, this is probably one of the best examples I can think of for an SEC team. There's some pretty dang decent good ones, too. A bunch of you guys have shown me quite a few really, really good ones, and it's been awesome to see those. I'm also taking this opportunity to do this because it's giving me a bit of time to think also, like, what I want to do with the channel going forward. I'll probably just keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm trying to think of what else some of you guys might be interested in. I was thinking about doing a playthrough of Boots Fury, because I actually do really like that game. I pretty much know where all the Hercule capsules are at and all that stuff, and how to unlock. By the way, if you do all the requirements, like you get everything in Boost Fury, you can unlock the Gogeta fusion, and you can do it whenever you want to at your leisure, which is pretty cool. Pretty dang decent team that Gogeta has, all things considered, especially since I think some of the figures that came out along with the second part of the story, it was only like the second batch at that point, so there weren't a whole lot of good, incredibly overpowered game-breaking figures at that time, but still, his team's really good overall. still wishing him could get a UR, but unfortunately it's not the case. And of course Hercule's Hercule, but one really good thing about Hercule is the amount of speed he's got. It is a tremendously high amount of speed. Obviously his biggest issue is that's like his only good thing. And once he gets attacked, you get an ultimate, but you can easily get shut down by the enemy, especially in my case because ultimate gauge on every turn. So it's like, okay, that's kind of pointless. And sorry if these fights run a little long, but I don't know. I was just kind of in the mood to do something a bit bigger coming back. And I thought, why not do this? I kind of always wanted to do a vid where I just show off all the 7 3-star battles in one sitting anyway. But the biggest thing that I'm gonna have to worry about is trying to think of stuff to fill in the gaps. Overall, though, it shouldn't be too bad. There are quite a few battles we're going to be going through, though. There are a lot. Next up, we got Trunks. The disappointing one. I'm very, very lucky with the thing going around. I have the luxury, thankfully, of being able to still work at home, no problem. And I could still game or watch stuff between calls. I've had instances where it was slow this week, and I was playing a Sonic game for probably at least over a straight half an hour. So it's been nice to have that downtime, but you can easily get bored just sitting in the same room for a whole week. We don't really have much choice, though, with, of course, the you-know-what going around. I've also been just trying to relax and focus on things that make me laugh to keep me in a better mood, like Game Grumps. That's a good example. That they're pretty dang funny to watch, and they were a big help when it came to losing a couple family members, so it's nice that they're just really funny people like them out there, and can sort of snap you out of your funk, so to speak. It's also been nice just to be at home with the cat. Often he'll come into my room and I'll lay down in his kitty house while I'm working. It's freaking adorable. And a lot lately, he's been pretty snuggly with me lately. It's been nice. He's been jumping up onto my desk a lot too, and walking over my keyboard for attention. It's so freaking hilarious. And then I'll usually just pick him up and then cuddle him for a bit on my chest while he purrs away. It's great having a cat. I very much recommend getting one, given granted you're not allergic or you like cats to begin with. And pardon if you hear doors shutting a bunch. I don't really know why, but it's something that he does often. But it's not hurting anybody, so it's fine. It's like whatever. I think the only time it's really an issue is if I hear it a bunch when I'm trying to sleep, which thankfully is usually never the case. Of course, I have the fan running on high whenever I sleep. It's good to have that white noise. And pardon me a second, I forgot to put my sign down. I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quick. I keep a paper that's sort of taped onto my door that says recording. It's got a piece of tape at the end of it, so I can put it back up when I'm not recording. But yeah, I should probably put that down. Otherwise we'll get surprise guests, and I kind of just want to focus on, of course, you guys and Hero Colosseum. So give me a sec, I'm gonna go do that real fast. Okay. And we are good to move on to Broli. I will say when this came out, I definitely did not have that many overpowered or good figures to deal with us, because this was kind of a roadblock when the second batch came around. This was, at the time, a very difficult free battle. But yeah, let me know how some of you would feel about me doing a playthrough Boost Fury, because I more or less have most of it mapped out in my head. I might need to refresh my memory on it, or do like a full playthrough beforehand, and of course, you know, max it out, get everything. Get all the Hercule stuff, all the, I forgot what other thing it has you collecting. Because I know there's a bunch of stuff to get for Hercule, and then I think there are some things to get for Capsule Corp also. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if I recall correctly, you have to get all of them if you want to be able to do Gogeta whenever you feel like. I think my biggest problem with Boost Fury, though, is that one part where it requires that Goten and or Trunks have the bandana to get one of the Dragon Balls inside the Thieves' Den. Because you're relying on RNG to get those, and normally the only really easy way to do that is to find a random ship that's flying around the world. Other than that, it's a pretty decent game overall, very enjoyable. I just wish that it was more in-depth. Granted, I know it's like a JRPG. Maybe not a JRPG, just a, you know, I think it might be a JRPG. Because I get the two confused very often, because I'm not a very big RPG guy, which ones are just straight up RPGs or JRPGs. The ones that are turn-based and in real time. You know, I always forget which is which. I want to say it's a JRPG, but anyway. Some of the prerequisite stuff it has you doing is a little silly, but it's still in all good fun. It's also been kind of neat to see a couple of Mug's latest vids. I didn't even know he had a brother, so that was cool to see him. And they both seem like really cool dudes. Much like Unleashed, QB4 Square, Rock and Robo, the list goes on. It's always fun seeing a couple of you guys over on Rock and Robo's channel too, such as Vegeta Ultra Instinct and I think his name's Dark Assassin. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody, but yeah, it's really cool to like be in this sort of little community. And correct me if I'm wrong too, but I think more people are starting to do Hero Colosseum since, I mean, we can't really go out and do a whole lot. I mean, yeah, you can stay at home and play Dokkan or whatever you want, but if they're at home and they got Xenoverse and they want to try out Hero Colosseum, I think more people have been doing that lately. Which is nice. I assume that the community around it was just nearly non-existent. Like, I thought it was just mainly me, Rock and Robo, and Mugs, and I think Raven Gaming has retired doing Hero Colosseum because he's doing other stuff now. And I'm okay with him doing other stuff. You know, he can do whatever he wants to. It's also been cool to see some of the new stuff that Rock and Robo has been doing over on his channel lately. He's been doing some, No, he doesn't do Black Desert. That's, because I know Monk the Dude and Raven Gaming play Black Desert. I think he's been doing some Resident Evil as of recent, and some Smite. So, that's good on him. So if anyone is a fan of Smite or Resident Evil or just the remakes of Resident Evil in general, I'd say go check them out. I was never really too into the survival horror game aspect myself, but I do appreciate Resident Evil's existence in general because they're made by one of my favorite gaming companies, Capcom. Like, I'm all over pretty much the X series, particularly X 4, 5, and the 5 and 6 here and there. And I'm really big on Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate especially, which, by the way, pretty awesome. They're finally bringing my favorite monster in the world. The trailer for that went up like a week ago. Very excited for that. I've also been debating on whether or not I would want to do a playthrough on either Hard Gold or Soul Silver, because not only am I a bit overdue for a playthrough on either, I think it'd just be really fun. But I understand that a lot of you guys are mainly here for Hero Colosseum or just Dragon Ball or Xenoverse stuff in general. So, I don't know, those are some ideas I have. If any of you would like to see any of that, definitely do let me know. Hero Colosseum and Xenoverse wouldn't be going away. I'd still be doing that. It'll be something to do, though, while I'm also doing other stuff. And again, I'm not looking to go anywhere or get paid even the slightest with YouTube. Like, I'm a firm believer that YouTube should not be a job. Like, I understand for some people it is, or they might do it to try and make a bit of money on the side. This is something that I like to do for fun, personally. just a bit of a hobby. And I want to give a huge thank you and shout out. I doubt that she watches the channel, but if she's listening, one of my friends, Vin, over in this awesome Discord server called Blob-Emoji. Yeah, her username is Vin. And I did say in the public server, I've been there nearly 2 years, and Vin's a very good friend of mine. So, I've known her for quite a while. She's super cool. But I was talking about getting Nintendo Online again, and she was nice and willing enough to just give me a spot in her family group for Switch Online, because apparently she had a bunch of free slots, and she was like, hey, you want one? And I was like, okay, sure. So, that's pretty cool. And I'm hoping that we'll get to be able to do Smash together, or Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate sometime, or whatever, really. That is a super fun server. I would definitely recommend though, especially if you're into emotes. Like, Blob-Emoji is pretty fun. Very wholesome and just, in general, very friendly servers. It's been pretty nice to be a part of. A lot of really cool, nice, considerate, and caring people in there. Make friends with some of the staff in there too. It's been pretty cool. And I'm usually in there when I'm working, when it's not busy anyway, or when I'm not on the call. When I get a call, I try to just focus on the call and nothing else. And I make it the furthest thing from my mind when I'm working on a call. Like, my goal right there is to get the customer taken care of and do it as best as possible. That does it though for Golden Frieza, and now we're moving on to one of the more difficult 3 battles, Blue Goku. By the way, unfortunately for us, it's been really hot in here lately. The apartment complex that we live at, it's kind of an older one. So they have set dates when they put on the AC or put on the heat. So we kind of have to wait for it until June, which is going to suck because, you know, Illinois, just because it's Illinois. It's either too hot or too cold here. Kind of like, I think, in Philadelphia, correct me if I'm wrong, for anyone who lives out there. I often hear that is one thing that they love and hate about living there, though it's either too hot or too cold. Speaking of which, I never really understood the appeal of that show with Danny DeVito. What is the appeal that It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? I just did not think it was funny at all. I don't really think Danny DeVito's that funny either. Like they're trying too hard to be funny, kinda. If that makes any sense. To be fair though, comedy is a very subjective matter, so... just depends on what you're into, I guess. And while we're on the subject of shows, a couple that I really wish would come back, if anything, just to do finales at the very least, were The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and Courage the Cowardly Dog. Those were both really fantastic cartoons, and it was a shame to see them go. I think Courage ran for only 4 seasons. Billy and Mandy, if I recall, was on for quite a while. I don't remember how many seasons they had exactly. Billy was especially hilarious, just for how stupid he was, and even better that it was the same guy who did Zim in Invader Zim. That was another good one. That one ran a little short though. And speaking of old cartoons, I don't know if any of you out there into Earthworm Jim. My buddy has, I think, the entire series downloaded, so he's been watching that. And the 90s were a weird time. I don't hate Earthworm Jim, I was just never really into him. Or even his games. I think there was another character, it was a big guy dressed in a bug, and he was blue. He kind of looks a lot like the Crimson Chin. Forgot what the show was called, but anyway. I didn't see the appeal of that one either. I was mostly about Batman the Animated Series when I was younger. That still today is even a really awesome show. So many people, though, have been seeing so much Batman lately that they're kind of getting tired of it. I don't know, I'm still a fan. I'm still a big fan. It really is a shame what happened to Heath Ledger, because he was a freaking great actor. Just think of some other cool movies that he could have been in. Likely other Batman ones. And then, of course, there was that very tragic incident that happened with the sequel. Seriously, what was with that guy? That had to have been a really scary situation to be in. Okay, I'm just gonna put Gogeta out here and let him do his thing. And hopefully he should be able to kill. Now that Whis isn't on the field anymore. Oh yeah, he's definitely killing. Well, that's disappointing. I got outsped. Yeah, my master took quite a bit there, but it doesn't matter. This should be the end of it. Then again, I don't think it's enough to kill him. Yeah, it's not enough. Never mind. The match is still pretty much over, though. And we're just gonna put a stop to that right there. Please double check him. Okay, he's not set up as an O1 figure. He's a very excellent O1 figure. But either way, I outspeed him if he's trying to ult and kill him with Gogeta. And if he doesn't try to, then, well, I'm just going to kill his master anyway, so... Win-win situation right here. Okay, let's move on to the next battle here. And next up we have Cooler. I'm gonna check really quick where we're at in recording. Yeah, we're already at 34.5 minutes. This is definitely gonna be a longer one. I'm okay with that though. But I enjoy hanging out with not just you guys, but playing here at Colosseum in general. I just think it's a really fun game mode that was added to Xenoverse. Made it that much better, in my opinion. I've also been checking other people out here and there in Conton City, just to see if anyone else is like really playing here at Colosseum. And thankfully, I am seeing more people with, you know, teams, and not just the starter team that's leveled up slightly, you know, after the tutorial. And there are still quite a number of players who have really low both figures. Because I think they just want to focus on Xenoverse 2 itself and not Hero Colosseum, but I still see more people with really good decks and really good figures too. So it's been cool to see more of those lately. And a game mode like this, to me, is how an online game should be. Like, if it's online, it's real-time, player versus player. Like, this is a good example of a bad online experience. Xenoverse 2, there's the netcode, there's input lag, just lag in general, and it's really just hampers the experience. And I always take those into consideration. That's why I generally don't like to do any type of real-time or just online PvP in general, unless it's something like this. You know, it's kind of just like a board game, or kind of like a short card game versus type thing. You know, that's fair, because yeah, there's a degree of RNG included, but you can still play at your leisure. It's just timed, of course. But still, it's not like it's real time and you gotta make really quick decisions on the fly. And then lag just happens to screw you over or whatever. Or, God forbid, the netcode. I did recently also do a recording in Parallel Quest 122 again. I did that with my Namekian, who's also a striker. That was a really difficult one, and that one took me a couple of attempts to record on. I got some really cool music in there that a bunch of you, I'm sure, might be fans of. Lamb of God. Picked out a few songs from the Wrath album, and it really doesn't bother me that you know, the creators and whatnot copyright claim their content, because obviously I didn't make it and I don't own it either. And credit where credit is due. We wouldn't have so many, like, really cool favorite bands and songs if it weren't for a lot of the talented people in the metal industry out there. We are at turn 4. Just gonna let Gogeta do his thing as normal. After turn 3, I usually like to, usually after the second and the third turn, I'll put Blue Evolved in the upper left. Because at that point, he's pretty much set. And the reason that I still use the Focus Flash Vegeta is just to play mining games with my opponent. Usually, like, if I happen to run into someone that I'd like to verse online, it really lets you screw with your opponents mentally. Just having that threat there. And then they have to make a decision. Okay, is he going to keep building up Blue Evolved Vegeta, or is he going to put Focus Flash Vegeta out there and just do all kinds of crazy damage to one of my figures on my master? And they and they don't know that, and they don't know if I'm going to put Blue Evolved in the upper left either, which usually at that point, though, he's pretty set. After just a couple turns, I'm staying with Vados, and of course being behind Vados and Super Saiyan 4 Goku beat on the field there. while we're still on the topic of Colosseum, one cool thing I do like about Muck the Dude, his tournaments, he's had ban rules for certain figures, which I think is really cool, and honestly pretty fair. Because, let's face it, some of the figs in this game, especially with the last few recent batches, have been incredibly broken. Toa is the biggest offender of that, I think. Which, by the way, he cannot stand anyone, period, who uses Toa, so don't use Toa. I mean, I never really used her much myself. I mean, I tried her out a few times, and yeah, she is very, very broken. Unless, of course, RNG screws you over, or you know, swap the same figure back, and it's like, okay, what's the point of having her on the field in the first place? But if you're able to put her on the field and neutralize that really big threat in front of you, then she's just all kinds of broken. Like, they really made her too good. And plus she heals her entire team, including your master, for 50% of all their HP, if she's able to ult, which is even more ridiculous. As far as support figures go, it doesn't get much better than Toa. Which reminds me, it's really odd that we never got a UR Mira figure. You think we might have, or even a Final Form Mira figure. I think that would have been cool. Same with Demigra and Corrupted Fusamasu. Which, by the way, I think Unleashed made his own version of a Demigra figure. That looked really cool. Unleashed does a really lot of cool things with Xenoverse 2. A very talented and smart individual, and just really good with modding too. And that should be death. Okay. Yeah, he would have lived anyway. Even with the counter. And I don't know why I did that when clearly I don't have an ultimate ready, but oh well. It's a force of habit, that is probably what that was. Well, I think I still have... Yeah, I got plenty of master HP, I'm gonna be just fine. Quite a bit, though. And look at what we have here. We have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta versing his son, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. That's another UR figure I really think we should have gotten, was Janemba. And speaking of lack of UR figures, we really got screwed over on both Baby and Super 17. And I feel like they might be doing another DLC or two. I could be wrong. I haven't really seen or heard anything regarding any of that, so don't quote me on any of that. But I feel like if they were to, we'd finally get Nova and Ice as figures. I think they're long, long overdue. Because they've been in the game since, well, since the game came out. It's been this long now where we've had Hero Colosseum and they're still not figures. It's like, what gives? Obviously, a couple of the Frieza henchmen need to be turned into figures too, and some of the other different Cybermen. And if they care to do that anyway. Because the paid DLC, like, I'm sure if anything, that's more than likely all done. But they're still supporting the game. Who knows, we could still see some free updates with Hero Colosseum. Only time will tell. By the way, I hope you all really enjoyed the thumbnail that I put up for the vid. Spent quite a while working on it. I'm assuming this, by the way. I haven't actually made it yet. I'll more than likely be doing that after all we're all done here. I already have a really good idea of what I want to do for it, though. That'll be a bit fun to mess with all you on that, though. I wonder how many of you actually got. Yeah, I'm really not that funny. I'm very well aware I'm not that funny, so... So sorry I annoyed all of you with that really terrible joke. This honestly is a really easy free battle. The only really annoying thing is just how tanky Fabu is. Other than that, though, it's complete cakewalk. Like, this should not be a difficult free battle. Even if you have, like, some lackluster figures, you can still get past it, no problem. And I'm going for the Master again. If I get a counter, hopefully, I should be able to kill. Okay, we're going another turn. Oh well. Yeah, just the amount of defense that he has, it's obnoxious. If only his HP pool were better, he'd be even more broken. At least for the ones that we have. And that right there is why I like to have that skill. Because screw your ultimate gauge down every turn, I'm ulting you in the face. And bye-bye, Kid Boo. Kinda neat that they put him in as a 7-star free battle. I wasn't expecting in the slightest that we would get Kid Buu. Oh yeah, we're gonna be here for a bit. Next up we got Turles. I expect this to go on for at least a couple hours. It is a pretty long process doing all the 7-star free battles in one sitting. But I'm fine with it. I've actually done it a couple times. Once while I was just watching some YouTube for funsies. And obviously again when I had to get Violet the 99 in Hero Colosseum, which I'm not playing as her right now. Obviously I'm on a room skips, but it takes quite a while to get to 99 in Hero Colosseum. Thankfully though, there are quick ways to do that. Well, quicker ways to do that anyway. And that reminds me, I think Rock and Roll put up yet another EXP game video, so that was cool. That was nice to watch. And honestly, I think those are really helpful. Just because not a whole lot of people are as experienced with Hero Colosseum, so it was kind of up to us to figure out what the fastest ways were. It took a bit, but we made it. And that's all I can really say when it comes to other than just grinding in general. It's going to take you quite a while, but just stick to it, and if you need to keep your mind busy, mute the game and just put on YouTube or something. This should hopefully be enough. I'm gonna wait though. Okay, we're fine. I thought you might have done a little bit less. Again, I don't have her duped at all into attack. I've got her and Super Saiyan 4 Goku here, both built all in HP, so I can utilize both of their closing skills as much as I can. And plus, what's good about Super Saiyan 4 Goku is he's going to get really, really strong and bulky anyway. Just by being on the field naturally. And by the way, look at that. It's Rock and Roll's favorite figure. Goku Black. He's so incredibly underwhelming, it's sad. You know, come to think of it, I don't think I've asked Rock and Robo that. Like, what is his favorite figure? That'd be interesting to know, I think. And obviously, it's not gonna be Goku Black, because come on, guys, we can't all keep busting Rock and Robo's balls. Granted, that's usually me an Unleash thing, but still. It's nice to see that he's at least a good sport about it. That is one thing I do like very much about Rock and Robo. He knows how to take a joke. Okay, next up we have Ranger Android 17. And it's really confusing because in parentheses it says Dragon Ball Super. So if anyone says Super 17, okay, it's like, okay, now which Super 17 do you mean? Do you mean Super 17 from GT, or do you mean Android 17 from Dragon Ball Super? I really wish they hadn't had done that, but oh well, it is what it is. They should have just called it Android 17. Ranger or something. Or just Ranger 17. Like, that would have done too. And while we're on the topic of Super, we still do not have a costume of Android 18 in her pink tracksuit. And I'm kind of disappointed that we don't, because I thought she looked really good in it. It's probably one of my favorite outfits on her. I'm also a big fan of the Santa one. I just find it adorable. I don't know, I'm weird like that. I do love what she says, though, when you pick her in character select. If you've got her in the bikini outfit, and I think the Santa outfit also, she'll usually go pointless, right in your wheelhouse. You look for pointless things, don't you? Which it took me a while to understand what a wheelhouse is. Obviously, it's a mobile home. A trailer, pretty much. So really, I think she's calling you a redneck. At least that's what I get out of that. And I'm cool with for next two. They live a very comfortable and just laid-back lifestyle. At least in my opinion, they do. I wouldn't mind living out on a boat, even. I think that'd be really cool. Of course, it'd be kind of a worry, though, if I'm surrounded by water and I got my games and electricity and internet and all that stuff. But still, I think that'd be pretty cool. The only thing I think I don't have to worry about is getting seasick, because if you're on the water for that long, you're gonna get really sick really easily. And I assume that because it was one of Mr. Beast videos. They spent 24 hours on a boat, like out at sea. I think it was in the Bermuda Triangle, which it would make sense why they would get sick. The Bermuda Triangle is not really the kindest when it comes to waves out there. If it's just docked, though, I don't think that'd be an issue at all. That was pretty funny, though. They all got really sick, and they all threw up at least once. Moving on, we have GR next. And I'm just gonna quickly peek where we're at in recording. And we are officially just past the hour mark. Huzzah! Jiren's got a really decent deck. I think its biggest issue, though, is... Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, and then I forgot. No, he actually does have an L1 figure. It's just a really broken ability that we can't use. Which I think is fair, personally. And before you call me crazy on that, just hear me out. They can't use Spirit Bombs, and they cannot use counterattacks either. Only we get to do that. And even then, like the Content City free battles, they can use Spirit Bombs. They still cannot use counterattacks, though. They're AI. And I don't know why they did that. Why not just have the AI do the counterattacks, but oh well. And even then, they don't have to always succeed every time. You can still have them mess up. It's whatever though, it's not that big a deal. You know, that's where the character skills come in. For us, and counterattacks for us. That's where that all comes in. I also really appreciate the nice folks recently who've been saying, good content, keep it up. I'm doing my best. I don't think it's that great, but I appreciate that you enjoy it. And, yeah, welcome to the channel, I guess. And thankfully, I've gotten rid of Jiren, so he's not going to be a problem at all. Now it's only a matter of time. Before I take care of Whis and Vados. I should probably focus on getting rid of Vados first, because, well, I'm gonna wait a couple turns, because what I want to do is, I want to get to a point where I'm not taking as much damage, and then I can put out Focus Flash Vegeta right in front of her, and hopefully Jiren doesn't put anyone behind Vados there, which I don't think he would. Because no one on his team has Trigger Squad at the bottom right. Unless Jiren, that Jiren happened to do so, but I don't think so. Yeah, we'll do one more turn. That's another dangerous thing I'm also trying to keep in mind here, as I'm also worrying about Beerus. And just to be safe, I think I'm going to be putting out my fastest figures, because I really do want to get rid of Vados. But she is a nuisance, and I should know, I'm using one myself here. Thankfully she's not on her trigger square, at least she's taking quite a bit of damage here. And that Master's leaking just a bit, but it's not terrible. Slowly but steadily. Super Saiyan 4 Goku's getting there. The biggest thing negating a lot of his damage is definitely Whis. I'm gonna double check their speed really quick. I like to do that before I put my own figure out, just to make sure I outspeed and Gogeta will be safe. And thankfully, Vados, for whatever reason, is not in her trigger square. I think that would have been much more important. Assuming I outspeed, this should be a clean sweep right here. They should all die. Oh yeah, they're all dead. Way to misplay hard there, Jiren. Although really, I should say AI. the AI is just in general pretty brain dead. Which, by the way, I would like to comment on something. The video I did with, I'm pretty sure I had one up, that I did with Ryuko. I think I also had one up. No. Gear and Ryuko, aka Cubic Foursquare, they were both there. There was that one vid where I was, it started out in the caves, and Baby was there, Radiant Baby, and so were, I think, Omega Shenron and Super 17, along with Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta. But anyway, that patch also makes your AI a lot smarter. So, like, say you go in with your AI partners, they will transform, they will attempt to perfect block and stuff. So your AI partner is a lot more useful and helpful. So where I'm going with this is, my question is, if the modders can do it, why can't the devs themselves do it? It just doesn't make that much sense to me. And speaking of which, and this is, to me, in my opinion, is minuscule, but I can see why some people might want animated tails. But that's another example right there. The modders can easily do it. Well, maybe not easily, but still. If I recall, there's this one really cool tail mod that adjusts to your hair color also. I don't really mess around a whole lot with the mods. I prefer to actually just be online in vanilla. Vanilla, of course, just being Xenoverse 2 itself without any mods. I prefer to do that and just have the Super Saiyan 3 hair on. So it somewhat feels and looks like I'm modding, but really I'm not. It's purely cosmetic. And plus, it just looks really cool to me. Also trying to keep it down just a little bit because it is 1:20 in the morning and I'm not really sure whether or not a roommate and his friend slash girlfriend, honestly, but I don't know why they don't make up their minds. Like, I've never seen a couple get together and separate as many times as that. Anyway, I think they're in the other room. They might be trying to sleep, so I'm just trying to keep it down a bit. Whatever they both decide, whatever they both end up deciding on, I'm still going to support them either way. You know, that's entirely up to them. It's their business, too. And I forget, I think... Yeah, I might be in a bit of trouble here. That's a really, really fast Owen figure, and that's not exactly something I've got. So I'm gonna pray and hope that he doesn't ult. This is a risky move on my part, but screw it. Let's see what happens. Okay, thankfully, he didn't just stole an ult with Golden Freeze off. The AI were smart, he would have done that instead. Because that is the most broken thing about Golden Freeze as an Owen figure. You cannot touch him when he's on the field by himself. You just can't. It's impossible. Oh, come on, come on. Thank you. That's big for me, because that could have turned it into an even worse situation. So I'm glad I was able to get the counterattack on there. Here's my ultimate. I forgot if UI Goku has any. Alright, I think the other one figure was 17, and again, it really pisses me off that history square's in the back, yet for Goku Ultra Instinct, they put it in the front and give him an 01 skills. It's like, okay, that's entirely fair. Spirit Bomb, thank you. Yeah, I never really understood why Raven Gaming never liked the Spirit Bomb. I think it's fine. Because it doesn't really kill you, it just takes off a third of your HP for all your figures in your master, and it's completely RNG based. I think that's the biggest reason he doesn't like it, is because there's no, like, specific requirement for it, though. But, in my opinion, it shouldn't even, like, come to that unless you just plain out played or you didn't have the figures that you needed for that battle. That's just how I look at it. So I think we just got done with, yep, we just got done with UI Goku. And we're going on to Omega Shenron. I forgot to look at the thing. I don't remember if he has the really bad original Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta or not. Okay, no he doesn't. And let's see, does he have... Yeah, he's got Jiren as an L1 figure. So I think to play it safe, I'm actually just going to start off with Focus Flash and just keep hammering away at his left side. Because even if Jiren gets put in the middle, he's not really going to do much to Goku. Thankfully, Goku is completely free this turn. And that's just going to take a little bit, but not too much. It's nice that I'll still have Super Saiyan 4 Goku at full HP for another turn. I'll take what I can get. And if I recall correctly, I think Baby is actually Rock and Roll's favorite character. Honestly, I thought he was a really cool character. It was just neat to me to see a mutated version of Super Saiyan 2. And it was also really cool to see that video by Hyorin Jutsu, where Baby Vegeta and Goku Black, they both team up against Broli, and he goes all the way to Super Saiyan 4. That guy does such really cool work on his animated sprite videos. The guy's super talented. Surprised he doesn't have more views and subs and all that stuff. It is growing at least, so I'm happy for him. And there's been something that's been bugging me and on my mind that I kind of want to get out there in the open, and that is, and I know I kind of talked about it before, but I never really went in depth on why it bugs me so much. And that is regarding whether or not we're going to get another Xenoverse, and I don't see it happening for a number of reasons. One, when they include characters in Xenoverse 1 and 2, those characters usually have a full moveset, of their own that's original, or at least a good chunk of their moves are original and uniquely made that pertain to them. And you don't really see that at all with Super Dragon Ball Heroes, and that's another thing I want to bring up, is that is its own continuity and its own thing. I don't understand where the correlation between that and Xenoverse sharing the same universe comes from. I don't get it. Because Xenoverse 2 focuses on the main canon story from the anime, while Super Dragon Ball Heroes does not. And yeah, you can argue GT, but like pretty much all the canon stuff you could think of, they've included it in Xenoverse 1 and 2. And another thing is, like, what we have seen in animated form, not counting Super Dragon Ball Heroes, because again, that to me is its own thing. Like, anything we've seen that's been animated, for the most part, is present and accounted for. And yeah, there were a lot of fighters in the Tournament of Power, but there weren't a whole lot of really standout characters that had a bunch of their own moves and unique things about them. They may have had like a move or two and that was it. That's how I feel about it anyway. And again, none of you have to agree with it. That's what I think, though. I don't understand why people think we're getting another one. And if anything, I'm not saying we never will, but they would need a lot more content than what they've already put out there, you know, animated, that would need to be present for there to be another one. One thing I want to also point out is people keep saying, like, Dragon Ball, bring in Dragon Ball characters. Now, I could be wrong on this, but I think the devs themselves have said that the reason they don't is because they would be considered far too weak for the rest of the characters in 1 and 2 that we already have. And they can't really fly either, but and then there's the whole thing, okay, why not just give all of them jetpacks with Hercule, and that's just freaking silly to me. What would be the point? But anyway, I'll shut up about that now. And I wanted to get that out because, I don't know, it kind of bugged me seeing that everywhere. And I'm not even going to mention these YouTubers' names just because of how much I'm trying to avoid it now. So now that I've got that off my chest, I just want to avoid it entirely. I mean, if anyone wants to have a chat about it, I'll probably ignore it. And I'm not trying to be ignorant, it's just, I don't understand. I don't see what you're seeing. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand why people think there's enough to work with for another one. Because a lot of the time, whenever I see people asking for another one, they're not thinking about the whole big picture. They're only thinking about either the story or just the characters, or both. They're not accounting for all the supers and all the ultimates that will be added in, all the new clothes, accessories, new game modes, new inclusions into the gameplay. But we got a lot after DLC 4. We got a lot, honestly. We got 8 more DLCs, several more game modes, including photo modes. We also got limit bursting, flash reviving, and dual ulting. But anyway, I'm gonna stop there. Those are just my thoughts on that. I suppose if anyone out there disagrees, then let me know why. And I will not ignore. But I just don't want to get into, you know, a whole heated discussion or argument about why it is or is coming, when really, I think it speaks for itself. The game has been out for over 3 years, and I'm still thinking it's going to be over 4, and people are still going to be asking for it, and we're still not going to see it or get it. But only time will tell. Future is uncertain. One thing I'm hoping, and again, this is uncertain, I'm hoping that, you know, at least by then, this whole thing that's going around gets cleared up. Because it can't be fun for a whole lot of people to just be sitting at home, you know, all day. It's somewhat boring, and that's why I've just really been trying to keep my mind busy with other things. My favorite one being the cat. The cat loves to play. He's such a fun cat. Anyway, yeah, I'll stop going on about the whole whether or not we're getting another English thing. I just don't like even saying it because, like, I get triggered when I see it or hear it, and I don't want to trigger anybody, and I don't want to trigger myself either. Getting back to the battle here with Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, though. This is a really safe option. I agree with Rock and Robo on that one. Very, very safe option if you want to comfortably farm EXP fast. Now, if you care for the difference and you want bigger numbers and just more out of it, then yeah, you would definitely want to go to this one here with Blue Evolved. Now, thankfully, though, it looks like we are moving right on along with the list. Not halfway done, but we'll get there in due time. And this is actually one of the more difficult free battles when it came out. But I thought this one was a bit challenging. Oh wait, I'm sorry, you know what? No, I'm misremembering. Not this one, the one against Godku. It came out a patch or two ago. I got confused because that one also has Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I was just focusing on that. Very impressive, it's only turn 1 and he's already hitting for 7k, so that's pretty good. And I think I'm going to close my closet door after this battle, because again, I'm just trying to keep as quiet as possible for my roommate next door. You know, and I would hate to wake him or anybody up. Because I sure as heck get cranky when I get woken up. Like, not like crazy, I'm going to kill you, or even that cranky. Like, it's just, it's like, can I just sleep? I will probably be catching up on a lot of sleep this weekend, though, with how much anime I've watched. But it was fun doing that, but sitting there just binge watching anime for so long, you get drained. I even get that from time to time when I'm gaming. And I really should be doing more exercise and taking care of my teeth more. It's weird. Recently I've been having the same nightmare where my teeth just start falling out or they're cracked. Or they just come right out and I look in a mirror and I've only got like a few teeth here and there and then I gotta worry about getting dentures. So yeah, I probably need to be brushing and taking care of them a lot more than I do. I'm amazed that they've lasted this long, and I'm very fortunate that they have also. It also helps that I've never smoked, because that will really kill your teeth also. That and eating a lot of candy often. And I really do want to keep my teeth, so... My biggest issue with it is the flossing. I'll stay the hell away from flossing. Just such a big pain and inconvenience to me. It doesn't feel very good either. But enough about dental hygiene. Back to Hero Colosseum. Give me a sec. I'm gonna close my closet door. Just remembered I gotta do that. Closet doors are closed. Yeah, it kind of blows. That, So, my closet is connected to my roommate's closet next door. I guarantee if I, like, drilled a hole, it would just pop right out on the other end. Like, it's really thin. And it sucks, because even when I got my fan on a high, I could still hear him turning his light switch in there on and off. It's a little bit noisy. We don't really have a choice, though, you know, they made the walls that thin. Wow, that's pretty good. I expected less, actually. So, I'll take that. Kelpha's gonna hit her hard, but thankfully she's not in her bigger square. So I don't gotta worry about any attack or defense boosts. You know, while we're talking about Kelpha, one really neat thing to see was before she was even made into a figure, Unleashed already made one of her. So, that was pretty cool. I think he also did make his own Ice and his own Nova. And I know he definitely made Babo. That still cracks me up. That was hilarious. Just in general, Unleashed is freaking hilarious. That guy's awesome. Okay, I'm definitely gonna outspeed. So why don't we do this? And you know what, we'll do this. There we go. I probably should have swapped, but it's fine though, they're both dying. Thank you, I was waiting for the 280. Yeah, I've played Hero Colosseum so much to the point where I essentially know what's going to show up on each wheel. They all have set patterns that repeat. I think there's only like 3 or 4 different wheels. So it gets very easy to memorize them really quickly. There might be a couple more, a couple less, but I'm pretty sure there's like 4 different ones. And that will do it for Fused Zamasu. Give me a sec, I need to take off my phones. Trying to listen for if my cat's meowing outside the door or not. Yeah, I think my cat's meowing. Give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna go take care of him. Hey, buddy. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. He'll do that frequently throughout the day. Usually it's because he wants to play, or he's just saying hello, or he wants attention. He's a good boy, though. I love my kitty Malice. I forget which video it is that I put out, but it was the one where I was gone for like over 2 weeks, and I finally got my dual monitor setup. Like during that, I also got Malice, so if you want to see a picture of him, you can go back and check that out. If anyone would like me to, you know what, I'll just show a pic after we're all done here. It'll be quick. Come to think of it, I'll pull one up right now while the enemy AI is doing their turns. Because he's freaking adorable, you gotta see this cat. Just a second. Okay, of course I get a double when I'm trying to do something else. Awesome. Sorry if my keyboard sounds very loud. I know it is a keyboard that is built to last, though, so I will happily take the clickety-clackety. I've had it for quite a while now, too, and it's still in great frickin' shape. But yeah, let me get a pick up here really quick. I'll just show that off. Let's see, where is it? There it is. He's so cute. Just a second. Getting it right now. Sorry to keep y'all waiting. Really, you're not gonna let me open image in new tab? That is so annoying that it's not letting me do it. Okay, there we go. There he is. There he is. That's my kitty Malice. He's so freaking cute. Okay, back to Xenoverse. Or rather, Hero Colosseum. Same thing, really. I've debated on whether or not to use that for the thumbnail, but the reason I haven't is because it might confuse a lot of people. Like, they might read the title and or just see the image and think, oh, neat, it's a cute cat video. Yeah, I got a minute to watch that, along with millions of other ones I've seen on YouTube. I love my cat, though. He really is such a good boy. I think my favorite thing that he does is when he annoys my roommates. I love him very much for that. Like, not out of, like, hate or that I want them to be annoyed. I just think it's funny. Because it's like, aww, I do that. That's so adorable. But I'll stop gushing about my cat now. Trying to go second year, and unfortunately I lost Vados pretty early, so I'm going to be relying on Super Saiyan 4 Goku mostly. And he's going to take quite a beefy hit. And I just made myself hungry for beef now. Great. I'm being that serious, I want a burger now. I don't know why I did that. Speaking of which, I haven't had McDonald's in a while. Just because I didn't feel like cooking last night, I went out and got like 2 McDonald's and a large fry. It's still really good stuff. What's cool about it, though, is even with the thing going around, they're taking all the precautions necessary to make sure that they don't get sick and that they don't get their customers sick. A good example is they're all wearing gloves, and the gentleman who rang me up, he took the thing that where you scan the card and he just handed it and held it for me outside the window. I put it in there myself, no one gets sick. And the lady who was also wearing gloves when I got my food, she put it in like this little tub thing and like slid it to the other end so I can just grab it out. So it's really nice to see that, you know, even with the thing going around, the restaurants are considerate for not just their own health, but everyone else's. And it's good to see that they're a thing still, because, like I said earlier in one of my earlier vids, Olive Garden is just completely shut down now. You cannot go into an Olive Garden. It sucks. I'm going there. Especially since I have a gift card, and I can't use the rest of it. I should have used it all that one day I was there. Not gonna, like, find something left on it. I don't know how long it's good for either. Hopefully it's still good for quite a while. Now we are approaching few. I think it's the halfway mark almost. Just about. I think the thing with the cat, though, is, and don't worry, I'm not gushing about it again, I think he often does just get lonely, and that's why he meows. But thankfully, he comes down very easily and very quickly. I just pick him up, and as I'm taking him over to his bed, I'll give him, like, some kisses on his back and his head. I'll pick him up higher, I'll put him down on his, Put up on a scat tree. I'll calm him down. Tell him, good boy. Easy buddy, relax, and usually calms him right down. Then he starts purring. So thankfully, I at least have somewhat of a fix for the meowing problem, because after doing that, he stays quiet and just calm for quite a while. It's not very often that anymore, thankfully, that he'll get me up in the middle of the night, but if he by chance does, that's for me to worry about. It's fine anyway, because usually I get woken up in the middle of the night to use the restroom anyways, so it's not really anything new to me. And if I happen to get woken up by his meowing, I'll take care of him, and then I'll just go right down in there. Make sure I'm good again for a while. It can be a bit of an adjustment when you get a pet. Mine just happens to act... He pretty much is a little kid. He's not even 5 yet. But we all love him very much. And shoutouts to all of you lovely pet owners out there as well, and I hope you're having an awesome time with your own pets. And that y'all love each other especially. I'm a huge pet fan, I love them. They're the best, honestly. You know, while I'm on the subject of that, something really funny that happened when I was working at a Pet Supplies Plus. Back when I used to live in Michigan, this couple came in, and they have a pet tarantula and a pet alligator that, believe it or not, acts like a dog around them. It's so good for them. It might be an alligator or a croc. I forget which. But anyway, the pet tarantula... when they came to the store, I didn't even notice it until they pointed it out. Or until someone else pointed it out. But the tarantula, like, it jumped off of where it was hanging out and onto the girlfriend's blouse on her breasts. So, when someone pointed it out, I was like, oh, your tarantula came along, how nice. Actually, he goes, oh yeah, we were getting ready to leave, and he just sort of jumped onto him all by himself, so I'm like, okay, I guess we're going for a ride then. That was just kind of silly to me. I don't fear spiders, but I am kind of squeamish around tarantulas. Mainly because they're so fragile. You know, I don't want anything bad to happen to them or something. And now, unless it's the poisonous tarantulas, those can go and screw themselves, in my opinion. And it surprised me that they included those, and I'm only aware of this because my brother has it. He's been playing it like non-stop. The new Animal Crossing game. Those spiders that if they come in contact with you, put you to sleep. I've seen the color schemes on them. Those are deadly poisonous spiders. And they should not just put you to sleep. It's kind of dark to me that Nintendo would have included them. But thankfully, at least in the game, all they do is put you to sleep. I mean, it's kind of accurate, you know, the poison slowly kills you. If not treated, you will go to sleep, but you don't wake up from that. If you're not treated or cured in time. Poison just, it utterly destroys you. kind of like what's going around right now, and I'm sorry that I bring that up, but it is unfortunately the state that we're, really the situation that we're all in right now. And all I can do is keep praying and hoping that eventually, with safety measures in mind that everyone, or I hope everyone at least, are taking, it'll go away soon enough. Yeah, you know what's really, really funny? Game Grumps, they recently started playing Super Mario Galaxy 2, and because if they say it on their show, they could get demonetized. So instead of saying the you-know-what, they were just they kept referencing to it as the Backstreet Boys comeback tour, so that was pretty funny. I think there's a whole like page of their fans that are going on about it. Might have been on Reddit. And I kept saying hilarious shit like Backstreet's back alright, so I'd recommend checking them out if you haven't already. They're really funny people. Super cool too. If a little bit dumb, but overall really good. That's kind of the charm of them, I think. It's just how silly and simple-minded they can be sometimes. You know what's really weird too is I don't think I've ever felt this comfortable doing the talking and playing thing as much as I am right now, so but I really do appreciate all your positive feedback. It's actually really helped me to grow out of my shell quite a bit on here, so thank you again for that. This is not a good situation that I'm in right now, because I'm definitely gonna get outsped, and I think either way, my master's dead. So we're gonna have to just pray to God here and see what happens. Let's see, who are my fastest favorites? 1600. All because of Barrock. Like, if I had my quicker team, if I lose this, I might have to come in with a different deck. Because that is not gonna fly. Well, thankfully Vidal's not on the field, but okay, I just barely outspeed. Okay, thank God. Whew. Crisis averted. Yeah, again, usually I never have any issues, period, with this deck. But a team like Goldo's might just be the answer to it. You know, of course, minus Blue Vegito, he's really not that great. He's alright, just not that great. Kinda underwhelming. I really wish my roommates would stop closing doors so much, because that is what gets the cat up and about in the first place. It's fine though, it doesn't bother me, just, you know, I gotta take care of the cat. Once he starts meowing, but he does that all the time anyways, so it's not like anything is that much different. Alright, that does it for Goldo. That was... think, the most difficult battle that I've had to do so far. At least in this recording, he's usually cake. But I don't know, I guess I misplayed somehow, somewhere. I think what I probably should have done that game was just start hammering away, like, instantly with, Focus Splash Vegeta, because he had a lot of really big threats. It's good to have Blue Vegeta getting built up, but if you're not making progress, and they're just constantly whittling down your speed, and not just your speed, but your defense too, and that's really going to hurt you in the long run. You're better off just trying to take care of it right away. I think that might have been where my biggest goof was. Now here, it's a different case. Barely balanced team, nothing that really hits all that hard though, so this is technically an easy... This is like a breather compared to what we just dealt with. You know, I think another thing that's really helped me to come out of my shell more is working from home, because I normally don't do this type of thing on a daily basis unless it's at work. So I think my mentality was, I don't know, it just felt, it just didn't feel like a good place to do it. But now that I've been working from home a lot, I don't really see what my big problem was. Well, it's particularly nice that I've been able to overcome that hurdle relatively smoothly now. And I don't think I'm the greatest at this in any way at all, but I'd like to think it's an improvement. Like a really big improvement. Skip. Oh wow, I thought I was gonna lose him there. We're almost done pretty much. We just have, I think there's this batch, then there's the one with, unless that's the one I'm already working on. I'm talking about the one, of course, that leads up to the fight with the gods and Broli. And then after that, of course, there's just the last batch to worry about. I'm gonna go ahead and take this opportunity to put Gogeta on the field. I've been debating on whether or not to switch out Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta for a different Owen figure, like Trunks, because he's so much faster. But, I don't know, I really like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, so that's why I'm just keeping him. Oh yeah, look, after that, we're getting down to the bottom, pretty much. About there. Alright, so we just did 17, and we got Jiren. I think what takes the longest when you're trying to get to 99 with a character in Hero Colosseum is you're not just worried about that, you're also worried about getting everything else done, like the story, all the free battles. That takes a while. In fact, I would argue that takes even longer than just straight leveling to 99, because you can't really do that from the get-go. You still have to play through story, and then you gotta do all those battles and beat Blue Goku, and then I think after that the rest unlock. But that process takes quite a while still. Especially if you're like going for all the free battles. And I like to do that personally because it makes me that much more prepared for the ones going forward. Although I probably could just go straight through story mode and be just fine. Then I still worry about, like, doing all the cleanup afterwards, so I just prefer to get it right, done right then and there. And by the way, and I know I probably should have done a test recording before, just thinking this was all fine, but if I'm coming in like too low for you to hear at certain times in the video, suppose just let me know, and I'll work on making it a bit lower the next time. I generally like to put the game's volume, like the overall volume in my volume mixer, I'll just put it at 7. And if it's still not low enough, then do let me know, because that is a thing that's always nagging me in the back of my head when I do these. I might honestly just start recording it at slightly lower volumes going forward here, just to be on the safe side. The reason I like to sort of keep it at 7 though is so not that you can just hear me, but the game as well as possible. But let's face it, if I had it on max, you wouldn't be able to hear a dang word out of me. And I only like doing the this kind of thing when I'm playing something like, I've already done it for Super Mario World, and obviously Hero Colosseum. Those are the big two things that I don't mind doing this on. Like anything else, probably not. Okay, I'm not sure why you put just Blue Vegeta out there by himself, considering he doesn't have all 1 skills, but okay. I guess UI Goku just, I'm sorry, not UI Goku, Jiren conceded. You know, that's another thing that somewhat bugs me, but not too badly. Like, some of the free battles are repeats of the same character. Because we've already fought Jiren, and, let's see, who else? Yeah, we already fought Jiren before, and I want to say Android 17 Super. Yeah, like, that's a repeat. I don't know, it just kind of bugs me a bit. It's not that big a deal, though. At least they changed up the decks, that I'm fine with. I don't know if I've stated this already, but I was actually a fan of the Tree of Might film. It was really cool to see pretty much all of Goku's friends not just being useful, but participating. Because we don't really get to see him do a whole lot. That was another really cool thing I did enjoy very much about the Cell Saga, is that Piccolo, Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien, they all jump in to help out Gohan when he's dealing with Cell, and then shortly after, Vegeta. And I've always thought about it now and then, like, when there's a big threat in the way, why don't they all just attack the enemy together at once? But I think TFS Abridged explained it pretty well. Of course, I'm talking about when 17 and 18 were fighting everyone on the cliffs. And that's when Krillin, Abridged Krillin anyway, he went, you see, this is why we don't group up. And I thought, you know, that's a very good point. Because that fight for them was unfortunately a disaster. By the way, sorry if I'm like going silent here and there. Tired's actually starting to catch up to me a bit, and I did take my meds not too long ago. So thankfully, we're basically at the tail end of these fights, and I can be going to bed shortly after. This has been pretty nice, though, just chilling out with other Hero Colosseum enthusiasts and just enjoying the game for what it is. I might have to do this again sometime. Probably not with this, because once you've done all the difficult free battles in one sitting, the 7-star ones, not really much else to do as far as that goes. I mean, I suppose I could run a different deck, but it'd be the same exact fights. I mean, if you guys would want me to do it again, I would, but that's highly unlikely. You know, I'll probably kill anyway. I'm just gonna wing it. And of course, I get the bad wheel. This should hopefully still kill. He's only got not even 3,000 health. Yeah, I would call huge BS if he lived. Alright, so we just get done doing Kefla. And we got Ribrianne to do. Got a few of these left, honestly, not too much further at least. I cannot stand Ribrianne. I also wasn't a fan of... I forgot her name. The one with the, like, purple antenna. The one that kept going... Yeah, forgot her name. It was just really annoying to hear her. I thought Kakutsu was pretty cool, though. Adorable, even. That bird guy was pretty neat, too. I forgot which universe he was on, though. I want to say he was with the... the Beautiful Universe, but now I'm not so sure. Come to think of it, no, I think he was actually with the universe that had the Wolf Brothers in it. I'd have to go back and watch that arc, honestly. You know, speaking of anime, one other thing I did forget to mention much earlier is in Shimoneta, it has a bunch of the familiar voice actors from Dragon Ball. Like Anna is played by Monica Rial, who also does Bulma, and then I think the main villain's name, the really crazy one, was all about used white panties, and yes, that is as stupid as it sounds. But anyway, he's voiced by the same guy that does Whis. And then Christopher Sabat does a couple of the voices in it himself. And he's famous for, of course, well, a bunch of stuff, really. Piccolo, Vegeta, Yamcha, Raccoon. He also does All Might in the English dub of My Hero Academia. If any of you have ever played Time Crisis 4, Captain Rush, he did Captain Rush too, and it was really cool when I got to the end of the game and I watched the credits. I'm like, I thought he sounded familiar. That was Christopher Sabat. Which, by the way, it took me quite a while, but there's this really awesome shoot-'em-up arcade game I love the hell out of called Raising Storm. I highly recommend it if you come across it. Anyway, I was finally able to get through it on just one credit. And if you're a fan of Five Finger Death Punch, even bigger bonus, because that's... I think it's called Ashes. When that goes, everything I touch turns to ashes. Bombs away. Yeah, that song by Five Finger Death Punch plays for the intro. Really cool. That was really satisfying, though. Like, after several years of just having fun and playing that game, I was finally able to do it on one credit. That felt really satisfying. So now that's 2 arcade games I have under my belt that I've done with just one credit. The first one, of course, I've shown on the channel being King of Dragons. And obviously, I don't have it recorded, so you could argue that no, I didn't do it, but I went to that Dave & Buster's and my name was still on those scoreboards. So if you ever happen to be at that, and I'm not going to say exactly where it's at, if you happen to see Dave & Buster's and you happen to see RHS, there you go, it's probably me. Alright, so we just got done with Ribrianne, sorry about that. I kind of forgot for a sec who we just got done versing, and just moving on to Super Saiyan Goku now. This was the fight I got confused with earlier, when we were doing Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And some of you might not agree with me on this, but I like to think of Super Saiyan God as the canon version of Super Saiyan 4. That's how I look at it, and of course it's obviously very different. That's kind of how I perceive it, though. Then I personally, anyway, I perceive Super Saiyan Blue as their Super Saiyan 5. And then Vegeta, Blue Evolved, and UI Goku are, I think anyway, their own versions of 6. Of course, I don't call them that exactly. I just refer to them what their forms are actually called, but it's just something I like to think about now and then. You know, one thing that whoever originally came up with the idea of Super Saiyan 5, one thing that they were right on was Goku's ultimate form having white hair. So that was a really neat parallel when that came about. You know, so many years later, after just theorizing whether or not there would ever be like a Super Saiyan 5 Goku, we get UI Goku. I would say it's close enough. To be fair though, it's really not a Super Saiyan form, it's a form that anyone can attain. If, granted, you have the prerequisites and the ability to achieve such a form, but still, anyone can get to Ultra Instinct. You just need to get there, which is highly, highly unlikely. At least it would seem so. Like, so unlikely to the point of, why bother? And it was just a little funny to me to see Blue evolved in UI Goku, because one of the parallel quests in this game where you're recruiting fighters for the team for the tournament where Universe 6 fights against Universe 7. One of the things Vegeta says is, Kakarot, do you really need to go that far? I think he said any increase we gain will be marginal at best. Pretty much saying that they've already reached the peak of their power at Blue. Boy, was he wrong, though. And speaking of Vegeta, hey Vegeta. Let me show you my Vegetas. Got two of them right here. Anyway, I really don't understand why they gave him the original Blue Goku. I'm sorry, not the original Blue. It's all Vegeta. Can't believe I got them mixed up. But I don't know why they gave him the original Blue Vegeta. He's just not very good. I mean, yeah, he goes after your master. Doesn't do too much though, and you can easily play around it. I would say, if anything, versus AI, it's still Vehicle. Usually when I say that, I'm mainly speaking of competitive Hero Colosseum, and I usually just go based off of what I see and what I've experienced. And I haven't had the chance to experience a whole lot of Hero Colosseum PvP, which makes me kind of sad, but I'm on PC, I'm not really on PS4, where the majority of those players are at. And frankly, I'm not going to bother with getting a PS4, or PS anything really. I'm a firm believer of PC pretty much being the master race. Yeah, it's not perfect, but generally it operates much better and can do far more things than any console can ever do. And consoles were just originally computers to begin with, so... that's my whole stance on that anyways. Good thing for me, I get to deny them an ultimate yet again. And frankly, I'm fine with taking another hit from Blue Vegeta, because he's just getting weaker and weaker anyway. I'll deal with him later. Saiyan 4 Goku took quite a beating, though. It's not gonna kill, but I'll take it anyway. I forget, did Vados go yet? I don't think she did. I think this is gonna... Yep. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up. Alright, moving on to Broli, and we got just a few more left. And I'm likely just gonna crash right after we're all done here, because I'm getting pretty tired. Yeah, I should be able to build up Vegeta and still be able to get a release. I get paranoid about that, like if I don't get a counterattack, but no, we should still die either way. Because I keep thinking he has a lot more HP than he does, and no, it's nothing, really. My counterattack more or less guarantees that he will die. Because he has very, very impressive defense, especially for this fight, but it's not going to be enough. Okay. I think my game may have glitched, or it's because I didn't have attack up second on at least that Vegeta. I did kind of forget about that, because this one in particular I've got built with Ultimate Gauge up turn 5. Now, if I had attack up second, he probably would have died. Oh well. My biggest worry this fight, I think, is going to be that Broli. But as soon as you see that your opponent has that Broli, you should be trying to take it out as fast as possible. Unless, of course, Vados is around, in which case, focus her, because she's going to stall you more than anything in the long run anyway. Thankfully, I do have Vados for at least another turn, so what I'm going to do here now is play it safe and put the other Vegeta on the field. And what's good for me in this case is Broli's team doesn't have a whole lot of speed outside of the figures he's got right now on the field, and two of them, I think anyway, are about to die. Like Fierce and the UR Super Broli, they're both pretty dang slow. I'm gonna skip, that is gonna die anyway. Okay, and that's definitely gonna kill. And this right here should be the end of the fight. And okay, Vegeta's stuck. That is annoying, but we'll work with it. Okay, you know what, I'm just gonna do this, it's fine. Doesn't always have to just be an 0-1 figure. You can still help out the team and build up the stats. Which is why I'm also still keeping him on the team, because he can still get built up. Like, Trunks is amazing and all, but he can't really be built up. He has a cap. And if you can get Gogeta built up to the point where you can just not only easily outspeed and just steamroll through your opponent, it's going to be monstrous. He's going to do such crazy damage and be able to outspeed well enough. And I do actually have a variant of this Gogeta figure where I've got him duped entirely into speed. I'm thinking about switching that one, but I don't know. I kind of like the power more. Next up, we have Android 21, who is every guy's Dragon Ball waifu. Unless it's 18 or Videl, in which case I don't blame you. Or Kefla, even. And maybe launch. Yes, screw Chi-Chi. There's also Toa. I did forget about Toa. It's really cool that they added 21 in. I think she was one of the most requested. I look at her like Bayonetta in 4. And when I say 4, I mean Smash 4. I don't think Broli's on his trigger square, so I shouldn't be getting locked here. Which, by the way, I know this was some time ago, but I was wondering why I didn't get locked in place. It was one of my videos where I was recording a fight against Full Power Super Saiyan Broli, the 7-star free battle we just did not long ago. And I was wondering why I didn't get locked in place, and I think Vegeta, Ultra Instinct, actually pointed it out. He wasn't on his trigger square. And that is another nice thing about having Vegeta Ultra Instinct as a fan. I'm definitely not going to forget, because Vegeta's my favorite character in the franchise. So that helps. I would imagine that his favorite is also Vegeta. And if it is, or even if it isn't, what is your favorite form of Vegeta? Mine is definitely Blue Evolved. I just think it looks so sick. Plus, it's like his pinnacle. He's like so seriously OP in it. He doesn't lose speed like he did when he had the buff Super Saiyan form. Which, I don't know if you or anybody else notices, he does have that same muscular mass that he did back then. When he was in debuff Super Saiyan form. Only in Blue Evolved, he doesn't suffer the speed decrease, which is awesome for him. It's really cool and good to see that he doesn't lose out on speed. Oh wow, I got outspotted, really. Okay, good. Yeah, I did a dumb roll. I win, pretty much. And really quick, just for curiosity's sake, I'm gonna see where we're at now. Oh wow, this is gonna be a really long one. I haven't checked back on the recording in a while. It's been another hour and 25.5 minutes since I last checked. Alright, so we just got done with only one. Moving on to the last of the 3 battles, we got Majub. Whoops. Alright, there we go. I do that all the time, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm fat thumbing my controller, but oh well. That's fine. He's not going to be able to make much use of his defense anyways. And neither will Goku here. Skip, skip, skip. It still bugs me, by the way, that we don't have that outfit of Vegeta. Why don't we have his sort of vest chain-looking jacket thing? You know, the armor with the golden side straps. That's like his most iconic outfit. I don't understand why we still don't have it. Yeah, you can get close to it with, I think, one of the Time Patrol outfits, and you can color it that way, but it's not the same. And the logo is distracting. Yeah, let's just put a stop to that right now. I'm not gonna let you do that. You gotta be kidding me. I don't know why I thought that would work. This is gonna hurt. Quite a bit. And I lost my Owen figure. That's terrific. I should not have done that. Oh, I misplayed hard. You know what? Since I don't really use him much, I will put him on the field. And then let's get Vados out of here, just in case. Because I don't think I'm going to outspeed, but I think I'm at a point now where it's not really going to hit him too hard. Hold on a minute. I am just going to listen really quick to see if my cat's meowing again. Okay, yeah, they definitely got it. That still did quite a bit, all things considered. Okay, moving on, we got Baby. And give me a sec, I'm just gonna briefly open and peek out of my door, make sure my cat's okay. Okay, yeah, he's fine. I misheard. Yeah, Mouse is okay. He's still snoozing in his bed. You know, it's funny too. Someone in another Discord server I'm within, he questioned why I would name my cat what is pretty much the definition of evil, and my simple response was, bitch, my cat, I'm naming it. I will give him a badass name if I want to. I think I may have already explained this before, but I just like the sound of it. It also reminds me of Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and I can call him all sorts of cute nicknames like Mau Mau, Mouse, plus Mouse kind of sounds like mouse, but yeah, that's why I named the Mouse. I just think it sounds really cool and badass too, so I gave him an G name. His original name was Clooney. I just made that his middle name. Malice Clooney, and then the last name is a surprise, so use your imagination. I think I'm gonna lose Goku here. Possibly Vados. Yep, there goes Goku. And Vados surprisingly hanging on. Nice. And this should hopefully be a kill. Or not, never mind. In fact, that was really underwhelming. Gotta get Goku. I'm sorry, Gogeta out here. I don't know how I got them mixed up. Then again, they do have pretty similar hairstyle. And I still get outsped, but hopefully I should still be fine. I don't remember what my master HP is like. Oh, never mind. I got lucky. Yeah, I think I would have been fine. It might have been cutting it a little close, but still fine. Alright, so we just got done with Baby, and now I'm moving on to Omega Shenron. Last few battles, and if anyone has made it into the video this long and watched from the very beginning, then I don't know, say Vegeta in the comments, I guess. And also, thank you very much for sticking all the way through if you've been watching this long. Someone should give me a medal. I would, but I'm unable to do that. Even through YouTube. They really did make this figure seriously freaking good. Hands down, easily still my favorite. There's just so much potential with him, too. Though if I had to say which one is better, it's probably the other one. The 01 version that hits like a truck. And I would have to say the HP version of the original UI Goku is the best UI Goku figure we've got. Because as hard as the other one hits, the other one just has more potential, and will probably last a lot longer. I actually got speed variants of both of them. And I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I did go back when I was, you know, filling up my boxes again and just filling out all of them entirely. I did get some more Whis, and I did put some dupes into in the defense. Defense is great, and no, I still personally think, though, that you'll get a lot more longevity out of just duping him into HP, rather. Though I do suppose it comes down to what character skills you've got on him and what kind of team you're running. I think in certain situations, one is better than the other, and vice versa. I don't think there's a real definitive answer. If I had to pick, I'd still go with HP, usually. Alright, so now we're on to the last few. Just got Blue Evolved Vegeta. And then we got the fight with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which, again, I'm seriously psyched they put him in as a free battle. And we got the last spar with End of Z Goku, and then it's Dunzo. It's been a really fun long vid. I did enjoy this quite a bit. And again, I really do want to thank all of you for your support and helping me bounce back from what happened with my grandfather. Yeah, it sucks that he's gone, but life goes on, and we will all fondly remember him. There has not been one day where I don't think about the ones I've lost, or just in general. I'm always thinking about my friends and family. It's really nice to have those in your life. Kind of a neat thing too that I'm still a believer of is even if you don't have the greatest family, a very good family, or just a family in general, I like to think that you get to choose your family. Some of your friends could even be considered your family. I'll stop preaching though. Okay, good, because that was actually kind of annoying. He lives on 29 HP. Speaking of which, I didn't point it out until just now, but back when I was doing one of the earlier fights and Blue Gogeta was in a deck, I think it might have been the fight with 21. He lived on HP. I forget if that's part of his trigger skill or not. If not, then I just got seriously unlucky. Oh wow, he lived. That's good at least. I got Super Saiyan 4 Goku for another turn. Well, not that it matters now, the fight's over, but... he's still alive and kicking, at least. You know what I think they need to make a bikini version of? If they do another DLC, they need to include a bikini version of Vados. That'd be interesting. Now we have what, at least to me anyway, is the hardest free battle in the game now. There's just so much HP, attack and damage mitigation on his team, it's insane. Even with the deck that I'm running, and, you know, that beer's not being the one that pierces through defense, and of course, Whis not being the UR version, I'm still going to be taking quite a bit of damage here. That was decent, all things considered. Especially when you chalk that up to their HP stats. And plus, I'm mitigating a lot of their damage here, so... gotta take that into account also. That's tough. By the way, I did get rid of a couple different figures. I did switch them to a couple different ones. I now have 10 EXUR Gogeta figs. My OCD was bugging the hell out of me seeing 9 of them in there with just 1 Omega Shenron. Suppose you could say, but yeah, I went ahead and did that. Plus, I wanted to get another dupe of them in a certain way anyways. It was the one I showed off before where... I think it was 2 in attack, 2 in speed, and the rest were put in HP. Pretty sure that was it. If not, then it was 4 attack, 4 speed, and the rest in HP, but I'll go back and look anyway. We'll probably do that really quick right after this fight. And then we can just finish it off with Undersea Goku. That should be a death. Yep. I doubt this will kill, but let's see. Not without the counterattack. Awesome, I've got my ultimate. Oops. I keep doing that. It's annoying. Mitigate his damage all you want to, you're still dead. Let's see if he kills the master, too. Nope, just barely missing it. Oh well. Probably because of his own Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Yeah, let's show that off just briefly, though. This was it. I'm a very big fan of the stoop spread. Yeah, it was 2 into speed, 2 into attack, put the rest in HP. It just makes him in general so useful. If you're trying to get a fully maxed out 10 out of 10 EX21 Gogeta, this is the one. This is the spread I recommend running with. It's gonna do so much for you and your team, and you can easily make up for his lack of defense by other means. You could put Blue Evolve Vegeta in front of him, or even Whis, and he'll be just fine. You could even put Rose Goku Black in front. There are just so many good things you can do with this figure. Oh, you know what? I forgot to show off the Whis. I'll do that right after we're done. Just really quick. I like doing that now and then, just showing everyone at home what's in the boxes. You know, I suppose that could be an idea for a video. If any of you would be open to the idea of, or would like to see what's in all of my boxes for Hero Colosseum, let me know. I will do a quick video on that. I probably wouldn't spend too long on it. All the figures that I've got in my boxes, unless they're in my decks, I don't have any character skills on them. Because I get paranoid about running out for the figures that I actually need and use, that sort of thing. Because there are so many freaking, not just figures, but URs in the game now too. There are definitely over 100 now. I want to say there's at least 110. I think there's more now, actually. Maybe 120. I'd have to check. Like, of course, I'm counting in total in both versions of each one. Very nice counterattack. And you know what? It's funny. Speaking of Goku anyway. So, I think the End of Z Goku outfit looks really awesome, especially when he goes Super Saiyan 3 in it. But I don't know, I kind of prefer the snowsuit. So I've still got mine and just the snowsuit, and yeah. Plus, it would look odd if I wanted to have a team with snowsuit Vegeta, but not snowsuit Goku. It's kind of another reason why I just left him in the snowsuit. I think he looks better in the snowsuit, Super Saiyan 3 anyway. And I like to think of Goku's blue snowsuit as a reference to the one he was wearing in Dragon Ball. Looks a lot like that one. I think that's what they might have been going for, and they succeeded. It looks really good on him. But he does look very good in blue. Yet he decides to go around in orange, usually. Like, I would say I even prefer both his GT outfit and his, End of Z outfit. I prefer them to his regular look. Blue is obviously my favorite color, though, so I am kind of biased. Yeah, to end off the vid really quick, suppose I'll just show off the Whis I've got. I got 67 on attack. This is a version I don't recommend using. Decent defense, somewhat decent speed, laughable attack, not enough HP to make use of his defense stat. Just in general, not that great a figure, and heavily outclassed by Vados. Now this version, on the other hand, is a lot better. Still not as good as Vados, but definitely very, very viable compared to the other one. This one I've got duped all into attack. I got another one duped all into attack. Another one duped all attack. I got one duped entirely into defense. I got one duped just so he's as close to 2,000 as possible. I prefer it to be slightly over, if anything. And then I've got the rest in HP. I got one that just has all in HP. And I did a similar thing with defense and attack. And yeah, that is pretty much it for that. But yeah, again, if anyone would like to see what's in my boxes here, I can quickly go over them. I mean, if you would prefer to just look at them for what they are right here and now, then that's cool, but I could still go over, you know, what spreads I went with them and stuff, and why I decided to go with those. But I'll leave that up to you guys. Anyway, I had a lot of fun doing this. I thank y'all for joining me, and I hope y'all have a good night. I'm gonna go have a good night myself now and go get some sleep here. And I will see you guys later with some more Hero Colosseum and a few other things to look forward to. So, any ideas or suggestions, suppose just let me know. I'm open to the idea of doing Boost Fury. Very fond of that game. Had a lot of fun playing that growing up. But it's neither here nor there. I will catch you guys later. And yeah, let me know if you want me to do any Soul Silver or Heart Gold either. We're due for a playthrough on either of those anyway. But I'll stop wasting your nice folks' time. Have a good night, and peace out.